Congratulations to Liverpool Football Club. They are the winners of the FA Cup 2022. Another exhilarating game between the two teams, without a shadow of a doubt. It was 0-0, but it was gilt-edged chances for both sides. Another great advert for the English game. Another great advert for the Premier League, no doubt about it whatsoever. But Liverpool come out on top in the penalty shootout, a miss from Cesar Azpilicueta, and then a save from Alisson against Mason Mount after heroics from Mendy gave Chelsea that lifeline. I want your thoughts, I want your feelings. We're going to be discussing the game, looking at some of the big injuries to Liverpool players as well. What does that mean for the quad push and the Champions League? And what next for Chelsea? Another final defeat domestically for Thomas Tuchel. New players needed, a few leaving as well. We're discussing all of that, taking calls as well. Smash the like button. Let's do this.
Oh, absolutely magnificent.
Welcome back, people. Sorry, I think there might have been a bit of an issue there with sound. Is it all right? Yeah, that should be fine. Sound good. Yeah, cool. Glad the sound is fine. Yeah, listen, congratulations to Liverpool. As we said at the beginning, excellent performance from both sides, really. This is one of those where, listen, Chelsea fans can give me their opinions on things. I don't think there was a Chelsea player today that was poor. I don't think there was an issue with sort of anything along those lines whatsoever. I just feel that it went to penalties. It went to penalties. Both teams had gilt-edged chances. Pulisic missing very good chances as an example, which would have been a frustration to Chelsea. But you know, Liverpool missed chances as well. Luis Diaz, especially in the first half. Both teams could have won it in the 90 minutes and it wouldn't have been unfair. But when it goes down to penalties, when you leave it down to essentially, yes, quality, but also a little bit of lady luck as well, anything can happen. And you know what? They walk away with a trophy. That's 2 now this season, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Champions League final on the horizon, still with a chance of winning the Premier League. The quad lives. It might be quiet, as Mont said on the show the other day. You know, maybe you invest in things in the dip, as an example. Now, I want to go to your views and your opinions in a few moments' time, people. I'll get your comments in. I know there's super chats coming already. Here's one from Daniel that says, history repeats. Penalties are an awful way to lose, win a final. Just happy we are on the right side again. Was worried when Sadio stepped up. Yeah, listen, this is what happens, though. Sometimes you get players that miss. Sometimes you get situations where your teammates can bow you out. Sometimes your teammates can bow you out. The goalie can make a save, and then everybody else scores. And listen, Mane missing a penalty now is a footnote. It's an absolute footnote in this. There are no issues whatsoever. We've got some more super chats here. Are you starring them, Javon? Oh, thank you. FA Cup champions, not bothered about the performance. Been way too long since we lifted this trophy. Happy to hear Salah isn't seriously injured. Well, that's of course good news, and we're going to discuss that because Salah, Van Dijk going off injured. I think Robertson's was more cramp as opposed to an injury. But both players having to go off, not good news with everything that you've got on the horizons. I want to thank David, Daniel, and all the Chelsea fans who are the gift that keeps on giving. Let's talk about James. Head spinning, we see Diaz. To see where Diaz was is what Terry Tibbs has got to say there. A bit of Reece James banter going on. I was making sure, yeah, I think the mic sorted itself out now. A few people mentioned it again already. If you can just turn everybody else's mics down, while we're getting that, you know what number mine is? Yeah, cool. That'd be great. Cheers. Where is LL? I don't know where he is. He'll be doing his thing. There's no doubt about it. Klopp has won every possible trophy since he took over Liverpool, and it's a great day for Klopp. And this is the one thing that I've been talking. Do you know what I love about these moments is how what I've been talking about for years about needing to add the cups to the league, to the Premier League. That's how you build a legacy. The level of celebration and happiness I see from Liverpool fans proves I was always right. And a lot of you Liverpool fans that watch the Football Terrace, the reason you come here is because we speak the truth. You know, we don't sugarcoat it. We don't create the echo chambers where it's okay not to win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup because that's not what Klopp cares about. It's not what Klopp focuses on. Nonsense. He wanted to win them. And of course, this season, he started taking them more seriously once you progress to the latter stages. You rotated in the early rounds, as you've done every other year. and then you took it not more seriously. You just threw your first team at it, which is the right thing to do. It's how legacies are built. There is a cup treble on the cards. There is maybe an historic quad happening. Remember, you can't win trebles or quads unless you take the cup seriously. And it's good to see. As a football fan, it is certainly good to see. As a Man United fan, not so much, and I'm sure Chelsea fans are not agreeing right about now. One thing I will say as well is this. It's why I didn't predict an easy win for Liverpool. I saw too many people say easy win for Liverpool. Yep, no problems. Listen, it could have gone either way. Both teams, I predicted 0-0 after 90 minutes. I thought maybe Chelsea would nick it in the extra time. They were probably the better team in extra time for large periods until... Did the double post happen in the second half or in extra time? Yeah, but yes, of the game. Yeah. Cool. I was just checking that there. So yeah, look, it was a very close game, but I knew it wasn't going to be this runaway victory that some people were kind of predicting. Chelsea too good for that over 90 minutes. There's no doubt. Phantom's standing table update: 1 Fulham, 2 Chelsea. I don't understand that. Can you explain what you mean, my friend? Let's go Reds. David HH, injury worries though. Yeah, I think Liverpool fans will have that in the back of their mind today, those injuries that have now happened and everything else. Big up Terry, most unbiased. Of course, I am. Do you know what? When it comes to watching the game, I'm a Man United fan. But when it comes to hosting the terrace, I can't be. That would be ridiculous for me to sit here and have a go at Liverpool. Lucky to win on penalties. If this wouldn't have happened, if that wouldn't have happened. Listen, they won fair and square. You just got to accept it. As far as I'm concerned, Real Madrid, don't worry. It's happening, is what H7 has got to say here. H7 thinks they're going to win no matter what. Please make sure like buttons are being smashed, by the way. Fair play to Liverpool. It's been a long, disappointing season for us, but we'll be back next year. On to the Bowley era. Enjoy the victory while you can. And that will be one of our talking points tonight. We are going to talk about what the future looks like for Chelsea, what comes next in terms of, is it a rebuild? Is it a tweak? Listen, this team went toe-to-toe 4 times this season with Liverpool. And Liverpool have come out they've edged it on penalties, but they're very close. It's how Chelsea add that extra consistency throughout the league. But man for man, player for player over 90 minutes, there is not a great deal between these two sides. So some work to be done, but we'll discuss that. Speak on Trent Alexander. I'll tell you about Trent Alexander-Arnold today, from my point of view. The best defensive performance I've ever seen him have. And what he did today, and I'm so sad that Hussam isn't backstage listening, but clip it for him. Do you know why he was brilliant today? He went with his runners. He marked his men. He saw the danger and he reacted. In fact, he was proactive to a lot of the danger. The things that he gets criticized for, not following runners, not being proactive, not going with runners, he did it brilliantly today. And if he didn't, there was 2 or 3 further opportunities that Chelsea would have got in this game. An absolutely sensational defensive performance for me from Trent Alexander-Arnold today. He's shown he can do it. He set the standard. Now, this is what there's always going to be mistakes. They're always going to concede goals. But this is the standard now that Trent has to rise his game to on a consistent level defensively, because it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He can defend. He now needs to choose to do this on a regular basis. And as I said to all Liverpool fans, he's never instructed by Klopp to not go with his runners. It's the biggest lie ever told. He chose not to, or he didn't see the danger, because otherwise he was not obeying Klopp's orders today, was he? No, defended sensationally. Stop the cap. Praise him for defending well. Criticize him when he defends poorly. That's all you got to do when it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, people. Thanks for coming out again, Chelsea. Really appreciate all the participation this season. Somebody had to play the loser twice. Laughing my ass off. Get in, you Reds. Big up, Terry. Big up to you, Terry. We did our best to win, but that penalty from Mount was so poor. Now our season over. We need to have a big summer for sure. And we'll, of course, move on to that, what Chelsea need to do in those summer months. David jinxed it for Chelsea, is what Xander says. Chelsea are now my second favorite team as next Premier League season. Right. I understand what you mean by your league table now. Man like Juan says, bad season for us this year. Our attackers aren't clinical enough, but I believe this summer we will make changes and and be back next year, is what's being said. Thank you to a new member here, Ashraf. Thank you very much for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. It means a hell of a lot to us. It really, really does. We need more likes, though, people. Let's get this past 1,000 likes while we're live on the air, please. Liverpool being champions and all of that. Get that done. We're going to bring the panel on in just a moment. Feisty panel in the studio today as well. Aspie needs to go, is what Jason says here. Interesting. Chelsea are gonna be top 6 next year, is what Cameron believes. Top 6 only is what Cameron believes. But we'll certainly discuss that. We're going to go to the more super chats in a bit. We're going to go to more of your member comments as well. Thank you there. Ash with his first member comments says it's crazy that Liverpool are supposedly a much better team than Chelsea, yet struggle to beat them every game. Liverpool are better over a consistent period of time, i.e. the league. That's why the league table is the ultimate barometer for who the best is. But Chelsea can play at Liverpool's level. It's about how they get there on a consistent basis within the league. When it comes to the cups, Chelsea have got to nearly every final. They've got to every final barring this season's Champions League. So we know in any given 90 minutes, they're a top side. No doubt about it. Thanks for the comment, Ash. Really appreciate that, bro. There's a comment from Chelsea who says, Liverpool haven't beaten a big team in 90 minutes this season. They didn't beat us today. They were lucky again. Chelsea demerit over Liverpool merit. Frauds is what Chelsea's got to say here. He's not happy. He's not happy with that Liverpool win. But I'm going to bring the panel in. First of all, we're going to go to the loser today in the studio. Roy is here with us. How you doing, mate?
Third domestic final on the road, lost under Tuchel, 0-3. Again, there was no poor performances today, so I can't really look at our players and be like, oh, this person had a stinker, this person wasn't good enough. It was the case of everyone was good. We just got to the penalties, and it was a poor penalty from Mount personally. And if our fans will know, he did the same thing against Tim Krul against Norwich. He got saved, and he went up the middle, and that's his 6th loss at Wembley, which is a very, very poor record. I think Tuchel, he coached the game well. He didn't make any blunders. I think Werner should have come on. I think bringing on Barkley to take a penalty, fair enough, but I think Werner could have stretched the high line, especially after Van Dijk went off. If he stayed on Matip, you could have potentially got cash out of going in behind, but we didn't see that today. Yeah, this loss hurts, but we'll be back next season. There's a lot of work to do in the summer. We've got a new owner. We've got a lot of key players departing in defence and midfield. Our attack needs work, which was shown yet again today because we weren't clinical with our chances. Neither were Liverpool, but they usually are. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, this loss hurts. A third FA Cup final. I'm beginning to really not like Wembley finals, which I used to when we had Drogba and Lampard and Terry, and we were winning FA Cups, we were winning League Cups. And now I get into a Wembley final and I'm just expecting the worst now, which for a club of our size, is not what you expect.
No, I totally get that. I'm joined by 2 Liverpool fans in the studio here. How you doing, gents?
Very, very well.
Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing right now. You do not understand. Oh my God, that was one of the most tense games I saw, other than obviously the Carabao Cup final. Like we said, both teams had chances. Both teams played absolutely well. But it had to go down to penalties, and there was going to be one loser and one winner. And shame for Chelsea fans that they're the loser yet again this season. So it is what it is. That's football.
Of course, look, from your point of view, obviously it's another trophy. We'll talk a bit of Champions League a little bit later on the show now, but Klopp really starting to build that true legacy now.
Yeah, like you said it, Klopp is the only guy other than Alex Ferguson to win every possible trophy in English football. He won the PL, he won the Prem, he won the Champions League, he won the FA Cup, and now the League Cup as well. So he is cementing that legacy. And do you know what I loved about that penalty shootout? The last penalty was Tsimikas that took it, and him taking it and him scoring it was the story of our season. Every single bench player or squad player, whoever it is, whether it be Origi, Tsimikas, even Jones, Millie when he came on, and Minamino, they did their part. The reason why we are in 3 cup finals, the reason why we are playing the most games out of anyone possible in a season, is because of those players. They stepped up when we needed to on the road to Wembley and the road to into our successes. So big up those guys. Big up those guys, especially Simicast for taking that penalty so coolly.
Yeah, listen, I totally get that. And it's the trophies that matter, as you say, because, this season, records and unbeaten runs and points are great. But when you're lifting them trophies, like the way you celebrated that when that penalty was saved and scored and you won the FA Cup, none of you celebrated that when you got 99. None of you did that when you get an extra 3 points.
Yeah.
None of you do that. Oh my God, yeah, I'm beaten for 7. No one does that. It's winning trophies that matters more than anything else. And that's what Liverpool's heritage is built upon.
Yeah.
You are the most successful club in England across all competitions. There's no doubt. And you've added something else to that today. And it's one of those things where it's what Jurgen Klopp needed to do, because you build a team as good as yours.
Yeah.
If you'd have walked away in 4 or 5 years' time with 1 league, 1 Champions League, and 1 Carabao Cup, it's actually a failure for how good the team is. And they're being added now, there's no doubt, and it's brilliant. In terms of Chelsea, Roy, what next in your opinion? Is this going to be is this the case of a massive overhaul, big rebuild, or is it a handful of new players added to this already very good team?
I think it's a bit of both. I think we do need like a good handful of players, but if you look at how many players could potentially be leaving this summer, then you can sort of classify it as a rebuild, because this team in the previous league seasons had gotten to the 70-point mark and haven't really pushed on from there. So if the same players are getting the same points and different managers can't get more out of them, then you have to look at the squad and say, do we need some new life? Do we need more youth? Do we need more experience? And we've got Christensen most likely leaving, Aspi leaving, Rudiger leaving. That's instantly 3 new players. Jorginho and Kante contracts running out next season, so their future's looking a bit uncertain. Of our attackers, I think the profiles just match up really poorly. So are we going to get Lukaku out, £100 million? Do we, after a year, cash out on him? Or do we get into new attackers, give him another chance and hope that we can get the best out of him? Werner hasn't been that good. Like Ziyech's unhappy with playing time. Pulisic's unhappy with playing time. Like Havertz hasn't really kicked on from his Champions League final goal. So I think you can sort of classify it as a rebuild, but we're already up there. But because City and Liverpool have set the bar so high now, you need so much more to be able to compete with them. Not over 10 games and start the season really well, but to be there come May and have a chance of lifting the title, which a club of our size should be aiming to do. I think we need a good 5, 6, 7 players.
Listen, I think there is definitely a number of players that need to come in, and it's about getting that balance right. Actually, giving Tuchel, he's had 1 signing so far, and he needs more. There's no doubt, and you're still there or thereabouts. There's nothing wrong about that at all. We're gonna go to some calls now. People are waiting patiently backstage. Get your comments into us as well. What we on likes now, people? What we checking out like-wise now? We want to get this past 1,000 while we're live. Just over 300. That's awful. Let's get that like button smashed out. Let's get it past 1,000, please, people. Get your comments in as well. Of course, some of the official pictures coming out now of Liverpool lifting the trophy. I'm always happy not to see that myself, but there we go. It's never nice seeing rivals, especially when your team's in the absolute mud. Abdi here says, I want Tuchel out.
Whoa.
We can't lose to Liverpool twice in a season. He's a fraud.
Hey, let's not go too far now.
Relax. It's not that deep, man. It's not that deep.
2 cup final losses on penalties and you're calling for his head. Come on.
That's reactionary.
Let's
Too
be
reactionary.
Let's be realistic.
Look, I'm all for Tuchel slander, but let's keep it.
He hasn't got anything. He didn't get anything wrong today.
Exactly.
Like, apart from
maybe the substitution.
Bringing on Werner, I think would have helped a lot. But apart from that, I can't say, he could have done this, he could have done this. I thought the lineup was okay.
You know where it comes with penalties.
It's a good game. We just,
when it comes to penalties, it's a literally.
It's 50. You score.
One of those. It's as simple as that. And luckily today, our team was able to slot the penalties away. Aspilicueta missed one. The rest of the penalties that were taken were quality, apart from Mounts. The thing is, once you dive the right way, it's about the player putting it in the right position. And unfortunately for Mount, he didn't do that. But that's what happens, man.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think wanting Tuchel out now at this moment is it's insanity. You got to remember the chances are missed. Again, Chelsea created the opportunities to score. Now, did Liverpool have chances as well? Yes, but you're talking about one of the top 2 teams in world football right now. Of course, they're going to create chances against you. Like it's a prerequisite. It's definitely going to happen. But I don't really look at this as you could argue some of the subs maybe, should Werner have been given an opportunity? I think there's some question marks, but this is what Chelsea fans have got to get over in the modern day era. If Liverpool had sacked Klopp too soon, if Pep if after 1 year, we're nothing first season, Pep, you're gone. This trigger happy approach when everybody has money now is never. This is why in the last, since all the clubs got the money after the summer of 2013, all the clubs had major money. It's why the number of major trophies won by Chelsea is halved from the first 10 years of Roman's approach. I think you have to be less trigger happy and support the managers for a little bit longer if you really want to come out on top.
Let me tell you something, Ted, because I'm very happy with everything Roman did for us. Like, he brought us from a decent sized club to one of the biggest clubs in the country. And I was beginning to think that his approach of hiring and firing was becoming a little bit outdated. Because if you look at our squad and compare it to Liverpool and Klopp, Liverpool and City, their squads are all Pep players, maybe a couple from the previous era, and all Klopp players. But with us, we've got Conte players, we've got Tuchel players, we've got Sarri players, we've got Lampard players, and the profiles just don't match up properly. So now we need to slowly phase out the ones who aren't at our level, don't fit us, shouldn't be there, and then bring a player that Tuchel wants to play his football, because it's so obvious that he's a very good coach and he can coach good football and he can play attacking football and we can be a good defensive unit as well.
Can I ask you a question though?
Go on.
So with that, like, how long do you think it's going to take for Tuchel to be able to, one, get the players in that he needs, and two, build a team whereby you're not just going for the cups, you're going for the league as well? How long do you reckon that takes?
I feel like previously it wouldn't have taken that long, but with the emergence of a certain Spaniard who's managing Man City, to get a league title off him needs
he's greedy.
Ridiculous.
He's stingy with it.
Liverpool, Klopp came in, had to get rid of all the deadwood, get his players in. You got to the Champions League final, lost unfortunately. Then you got your pillars, your Alisson, your Van Dijks, and then you went toe to toe and you still didn't beat them. Yeah. And then next year you had to stay at that level. City and obviously dropped. Then you won the league. City came back and then won the league, and now they're about to win the league again. So to get one title requires so much. I'm looking at least
the levels have been raised.
The levels are there because there's two brilliant teams. I think it's just about, at the very least, it's about competing. I think the one thing you say with Chelsea this year, you didn't in the end compete for the Premier League, and that's where you've got to be there or thereabouts. With the money that Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United spend, the very least you need to be asking for is challenging, keeping pace at least until 5-6 games to go. Like, at the very least,
like, be there till May.
The money that we all spend is on par with everybody, and I'm talking total spend: wages, salaries, agent fees, transfers. All of us are spending ridiculous amounts of money. So to be 20, 30, 40 points behind the league winners and two teams challenging, it's not good enough. And it's why changes need to happen. We're going to go to some calls now, then back to your super chats, people. Make sure you're hitting likes and share buttons. First up, Dom Hussam is going to be on the show with us. Let's go,
bring it, baby. It's going to be
Dom Hussam, welcome back to the show. What are you saying?
Hey, campione, campione, ole. Listen,
Chelsea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, big up to you guys in the studio as well. You get me. Football Wars represent. Big up to you guys. Just want to say, listen, FA Cup champions, CFC Roy, my guy. You get me chatting a bit too much. Pre-game, legacy this, legacy that. Let's talk about major trophies now. You know, what has Tuchel won now? Just one major trophy.
How many finals has he lost?
It's a bit sad. It's a bit sad. But anyway, listen, it was a fantastic final. The ball literally just refused to go in the back of the net. Literally refused to go in the back of the net. Chelsea had opportunities. Diaz literally could have scored 4 today. Like, it's just madness. The ball was literally refusing to go in the back of the net for both teams. It was kind of looking like the first final as well. But listen, penalty shootouts it is. As soon as the shootout started, I just thought, I think Chelsea get this one, just because I'm very pessimistic about the FA Cup, as Terry knows. We've actually, before this game, we've won as many FA Cup finals as we have lost. So it's just bad luck for us, but we've won it. The legacy talk, the trophy talk is spot on. This is, you know, silverware is the currency of success in football. And here we are. Very proud of the team today. I'm very happy for Costas, because when he stepped up, Loki, I was shitting it. I was like, shit.
I thought Jota was gonna miss when he stepped up.
Yeah, no, I thought, like, why was Costas Tsimikas stepping? I thought Henderson was gonna step up as the captain and stuff, but Tsimikas stepped up. I was like, oh shit, but he scored and we won, you know. And here we are, FA Cup champions.
I love it.
Absolutely, mate. And in terms of, I did want to ask about the injuries. I know there's lots of reports at the minute. No one really quite knows. Is that a concern ahead of the Champions League final, or is it a case of celebrate today, focus on that tomorrow?
It's a case of wait for Klopp's press conference tomorrow so we can hear what the hell has happened, because Mo Salah was looking a little bit fine there at the end. The problem is, Mo Salah, Fabinho, Van Dijk, that's 3 of our most important players. Important. Not necessarily best, most important players are, those 3. We had this conversation. And I said Mo is, like, for me, in my opinion, the most important one. But Virgil and Fabinho are definitely top 5 most important players. So I just want to see where we're at. Was it rest? Was it precautionary? What exactly was it? If they're out for the Champions League final, suddenly it becomes a big problem. Because for the Champions League final, of course, coming up against Real Madrid, Champions League heritage and stuff, we have our own heritage, of course. But that's a very tough team to beat in the Champions League. You need every single player. Every single player is needed from our starting 11.
I don't think Salah makes it to the final, bro. I'm being honest.
If it's a groin,
with that groin injury, I don't think you can't shake that off in 2 weeks' time.
Listen, we'll see. I won't speculate. When we get full information on the injuries, we will go from there. But listen, now as much as we want go on, Roy. Go on. Sorry.
I said he doesn't perform in finals anyway.
He's tried it.
Roy, with all due respect, let him win the Golden Boot this season, and he immediately becomes the greatest African in Premier League history. So your guy just goes to the side.
Who scored in the Champions League final alongside Origi?
Yeah, no, they wanna do the whole non-penalty goals thing, as if penalties don't count. It's silly. It's silly. Let me just end on this, Terry, before I leave. Let me just end on this. Now, listen, I'm delusional. Okay, so I still have hope.
Be delusional, bro.
So over to you, West Ham. Come on, you hammer. Let's do this shit. I have still 1% hope, 99% faith. You get me? It's all faith at this point. There is no logical reason to why we should do this. It's literally all faith. But if West Ham can do us a favor and we give Southampton their annual 9-0, defeat, we can do this somehow, some way. So that's all I'm gonna say, man. So big up to you guys, man. Big up to you.
Top man for coming on, mate. We'll chat soon, brother. Thank you very much.
Take care, brother.
Take care, man.
Football Wars.
I'll catch you later, bro.
I just want to say this about the Mo Salah thing. Can Liverpool win the Champions League final with no Mo Salah?
Yes. I don't listen. At the end,
everyone else is fit. Yes.
No, we can, because
of the injuries. I don't think so.
I think we can, because look, today we've shown, and you might say, "Oh, it's penalties," but the squad has stepped up today. Simicast, Milner, people, even when Milner was coming on, I was just like, why are they bringing on? But he done his job. Simicast gets the winner, the winning penalty. Matip's there, Jones is there. Like we now have a squad whereby if that happened in Klopp's second season, we're not winning this FA Cup final. We're not, because we didn't have the players to bring on that will be able to match the level and supersede. And even though they built off Diaz in the extra time, we still had enough to go again. And that's, like we said earlier, in terms of having time, the manager having time to build a squad that now, if we lose a player, it's next man up. So I still think we can win the Champions League, even if Salah's not there.
I think Van Dijk, if Van Dijk was to be missing, and a lot of people have tweeted it's just a precaution, it might be. I still don't think you take the best centre back in the world off in an FA Cup final as a precaution.
But remember what we were saying earlier about, in terms of, there's a bigger fish to fry. So it's an FA Cup. Because look, if you ask any Liverpool fan, if they give you the opportunity, you lose the FA Cup, but you win the Champions League, they're taking the Champions League every day of the week. So I'm not mad at Klopp, even if it is a precautionary thing. I'm not mad at Klopp for taking him off, because at the end of the day, we won the title, and 2, hopefully that's preserved him so that maybe he doesn't have to play in the Southampton game.
I'll tell you what, I think he reacted to Thomas Tuchel's substitutions, because I think if Werner was playing, I think he would keep Van Dijk on. But because Werner didn't come on, and Lukaku came off, he was like, I'm gonna bring on Matip, because he's showing me that he's got the ability as well. So
I appreciate that. Look, next call on the show, Terry Tibbs, another Scouser. We have got Chelsea fans to come as well. Matt and Winter Surfer are backstage. Rack's gonna come on. Igal is backstage as well. To have his say Zane's there also. Terry Tibbs is a big Liverpool fan. What are you saying, mate?
Hello, mate. Big up yourselves to the panel as well. Just want to answer your question.
Big up.
Just want to answer your question, Terry, that you've just asked the panel there, right? You've just said, can we win the league, win the Champions League without Mo Salah? One name, Luis Diaz. Shalabar and Reece James are still looking for him now, and he's in the changing rooms getting changed. They're still looking for him. He absolutely terrorised.
He's a menace.
He absolutely terrorised the pair of them. I'm not just saying it because he's a Liverpool player, but that is the best signing in the last 2 years by far. Show me a better player that signed for any club in the last 2 years. Tell me. He's come in. He's made an immediate impact. He's absolutely terrorising defences. The only thing I will say about Diaz is his final product needs to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
He did everything today. He did everything today without scoring a goal, but he was absolutely phenomenal. So the answer to your question is yes. Put Diaz on the left, Mane through the middle, and Jota on the right, or Jota through the middle and Mane on the right.
I would start Origi.
Okay, no, Origi comes on.
I would start him.
Don't start.
For me, I would start him.
That's a big shout starting him. Yeah, Luis Diaz was brilliant today, as you said, mate. And unlucky not to score. Maybe really good save from Mendy with the legs when he went for the what I call the Wayne Rooney, where you look like you're going to go to the right, but you back on the left. Younger people would probably say the Mbappe, but I'm just saying my age there.
Can I just say though as well, that was probably the most entertaining 0-0 I've seen in a while. Like my heart was in my mouth. The first 20 minutes, they couldn't contain us. They couldn't deal with us. The first 20 minutes, we absolutely murdered them. The only problem was we could have been 4-0 up in 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just our final product was just not there. But fair play to Chelsea, man. They had moments in the game where they could have done it. I thought Tuchel made, for me, questionable decisions today, bringing on Loftus-Cheek and then taking him off 5 minutes later. You know, like what's all that about? Bringing Ross Barkley on. Timo Werner, for me, as soon as Klopp takes Van Dijk off, Werner comes on.
I said it.
Yeah, Roy was saying that in the thing.
Yeah, it should have happened. That was what a lot of us were talking about, especially in that first 15 minutes of extra time.
Yeah,
Chelsea were the better team. They were in the ascendancy. They were looking good, and Liverpool looked a little bit leggy and a little bit ropey. He brought on Loftus-Cheek and kind of put him further up the pitch central.
He played him as a striker, Terry.
And then took him off 5 minutes later. And then took him off 5 minutes later. But what an inspired substitution Matip was, because when he come on, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, quality. And this is what I was saying about the squad. We have a squad now that can challenge on all fronts. One player comes out, another player comes in, and they will either not maybe a little bit lower because obviously Matip is one of the better defenders, but you don't lose anything when we make those substitutions. That's why I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy.
You know what? I just quit on. I feel sorry for the guy. Like the guy came on his FA Cup final, probably dreaming about this.
I don't care,
career.
Man. Cry more.
And then Thomas Tuchel had to do that. I think Thomas Tuchel needs to
cry more.
I mean, what does that do to the mentality? What does that do to the mentality of a player? You know, what sort of you've got to be sitting there asking yourself, you know, what's my role at this club? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? But it's not just Loftus-Cheek that needs to think about that. There's, like Roy said before, there's people with game time. Pulisic, Werner.
I think that's Loftus-Cheek's a player that has to go anyway. He's not good enough. True. You know, the one thing I would say, the Ross Barkleys, the Werners, the Lukakus, the Loftus-Cheeks, they are not good enough to make. They're the reason why on a 90-minute game they can go toe-to-toe with City and beat them at times, beat Liverpool or come close, draw with them. But they're also the reason why they can't, over a 38-game season, win the Premier League. That's what they need to improve on. But Terry, top man for calling in and having your say, bro. I appreciate that. There we go. David has not turned up yet. None of the regular Chelsea Terrace supporters are here yet.
Terry, I'll ring him up if you need to.
We'll give him he's trying to connect backstage, as you can see, but it's saying not connecting. I don't know what's wrong with him. We're going to get Matt on to have you say, big Chelsea fan from down under. Keep the comments coming in. Let's do this. How you doing, Matty?
Bro, big up, man. Big up, Terry. Big up, panel as well. You know, fuck this shit, bro. It's 5 a.m., bro. I have my whole night on this shit. But to the people before saying Tuchel out, I mean, obviously it's reactionary, but he has a massive blame for this. I think these substitutes he did was absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. The timing of him was shocking.
Would you put on him the loss?
Huh? He's part of the problem. He was part of the loss. 100%, of course, he's part of the loss. We can't be sugarcoating this man. He's a fucking legend to us. He's the best manager we have right now. No one's going to replace him, but we have to blame him for some of the losses we've had.
Okay.
And this one is a big one on him. We look at this. He comes on and puts on Loftus-Cheek. And that's the moment, Terry. Remember, I was, you know how much I hate Loftus-Cheek because he's a shocking player. And then he gets subbed off 10 minutes later. I don't know what that's about. I'll wait and hear what that's about. But I think from looking at it from the pitch, I think he knows he's not good enough to play a striker role. Instead of bringing on a first-team player like Werner, despite him not being that good, he brings on a player like Ross Barkley who hasn't played in 5 months. What? And then he says before the games, he's trying to take risks. Okay, he's trying to take risks. Fantastic. If you're going to take a real risk, then if you're going to take a risk, put Kepa on in goals. I'm not saying for him to do that, but if you're going to take a real risk, then put Kepa in goals and don't put Mendy. If you're going to take a real risk, put Werner on and not put a Barkley on, because it's just shocking the way he does his substitutions. He's been doing it quite a while. We haven't really picked it up because they haven't really been this bad. But this is absolutely shocking, the subs he makes. Because, again, we had a decent game. Like, we had an okay performance, but it wasn't good because we didn't get the win. A good performance means we got the win. We played well, yes, but we didn't have a good performance. Good performance means getting the win, and we did not do that. Obviously, penalties, 50-50 shootout. Mendy did well. He got that one save. Mane.
I think he could have done better.
Really?
Of course, he could have done better. But if I say anything about that, everyone comes at me. He was on the ground here. He could have gone for that. He was on his knees for a penalty. I don't know what that was about. But looking at it, I'm not blaming him. But I'm just saying we can't blame Mount either. We can't blame Asp either. We should have won the game in 90 minutes. For me, penalties, it's a hard thing to individually blame. You can't blame someone for penalties. Don't come running at Mount for this. It's absolute bullshit. I mean, he had a decent game. Aspie, I don't know. It is what it is, But we got to take blame to some people, and as a whole, you got to take some accountability to this. And as I think Rory said just before, we got a big season, big overlap coming. We got to get rid of players. We got to get new players. 7 players coming in, 9 going out, and we have to start that ASAP because we are rebuilding our team right now.
You absolutely do, and I think that your point about the more you sit here and reflect on it, not the fact that he's been playing Werner in big games, to not bring him on when you needed to bring a striker on, especially with Kai Havertz not being in the squad. You look back at it and it makes no sense. Unless there's been some kind of bust up at halftime or in the warm-up.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's the only thing that would make it make sense. You go, okay. But because he was warming up and having these there was some footage. I don't know what it showed where you were, but there was some footage of him having his hamstring massage on the bench. It looked like he was coming on. Maybe there was an injury. I don't know.
I don't know because
it is very weird.
Kepa was warming up. Kepa was warming up at half time. So it was a kind of, I don't know if he was playing mind games or something. Tuchel, I don't know what he was doing. But then we take off Lukaku and put on a false 9. So I don't know. It's just all over the place. But you're right on that one. Maybe
Lukaku came off.
People are saying here that Werner was injured. Is what's being. But that's my point. I think fans of Chelsea want the reason as to why that happened.
Come on.
But Matt, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top man. Thank you. Care, we're going to go to some more super chats in a few moments' time. We're not going to forget them. Don't worry, we are going to go for them. We're also going to pick our man of the match for this game as well. Next up David is backstage. It will be coming on soon. David will be here. Winter Surfer will be here. Rack will be here. But next, Zayn is here to have his same. He said Liverpool were a cup team. He said they were a cup team. Let's get him on to have his same. Welcome back, mate. What do you want to say?
How you doing, bruv? Like I said to all you man in the chat, bruv, you lot trying to say I don't know what I'm talking about. 2 cups now, bruv. For a man that said, boy, we're a cup team this season. And no man was giving us any chance in the FA Cup or the Carling Cup. So all you man, relax yourself. Learn to respect man who knows what he's talking about. Vintage, bro. Man got the grey hairs for a reason, bro. Man knows what he's talking about. So relax yourself. Now, let's talk about my guy, my manager, Jurgen Klopp. English, managing England, mate, ticket. You completed it, bro. It's done.
Facts.
You've got all the finals. Facts is all done, bro. And all your man trying to compare this C-Tech Klopp, Tuchel to my manager, bro. Relax yourselves, bro. I don't care about, it was a close game, penalties, Ultimately, end of the game, who wins, that's all you remember, bro. That's what goes in the history books. And all it shows is that 2 finals, my guy Jurgen has come through, bro. And for you Chelsea fans out there, I know you guys are hurting, you guys are salty, but you man must have seen this coming, bro. It's quite funny seeing how your Chelsea fans are now criticising or analysing your manager now. What did I say about Tuchel time ago, bro? A lot of people say it's world class. I don't rate the brother, and that's my opinion, bro. I'm not saying I know everything.
If
But
you
my
don't, can I
opinion,
ask you a
I don't
question?
rate the brother, and you got to find out
question on
again,
it.
bro.
Zane, can I ask you a question? If you don't rate him, Jurgen Klopp is brilliant. I'm not having a pop at Klopp. I'm asking about your logic.
He's amazing.
You don't rate him. You think he's a fraud, but your manager's drawn with him in 90 minutes 4 times this year. Like, why can't Klopp beat him if he's as bad as you say he is?
Like I said, from my point of view, ultimately, regardless of the draws, whatever, when it comes to the final, who won the games? I don't care if it's penalties, whatever.
That isn't
In
my
the
point.
history books, no, you're missing the point.
Listen.
History
I'm going to
books
go
will
back.
say-
I'm going to go back to the question. You said he's a fraud, like he's rubbish. He
I
can't
don't-
be getting as bad as you're making him out to be, is he? You're being a little bit disingenuous.
Okay, all right. So I think let me clarify this thing. Right, people have been comparing him to be the similar level to Klopp, and that's what I had an issue with. He's a good manager.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. He's not levels. He's not world class. Do
Mm.
you know what I mean? And there's levels. There's percentages between being a good manager and being that next level above. And that's I had an issue with, where people were trying to put him on the same level as Klopp, where frankly it was so obvious that's not the case, bro. And again, let's keep it real. This is what's happened, bro. Do you get me, right? And all I'm gonna say to all you man out there, right? Guess what? Man United rivals. I'm calling out shots today. You Man United fools. Who's the most successful club in England now, bro? Shut up. What are you going to say now? We are there, bro. Pipe down, you Man United fans. Go away, bro. You're not
Say
ready,
it again, bro.
Come
Say
back
it
in
again.
5 years, bro. You're not ready, bro.
Listen,
We are
Zayn,
the big man team. We run England, bro. So relax yourselves about
We're running.
21 and 21
You're there,
like
you're
man on
there
Terry.
right now.
And you,
There's no-
Terry, you can't say much because, boy,
Hey,
bow
wait,
down
listen,
and pay
listen.
respect, homage
Hang
to the
on,
big
hang
man.
on. You don't ever
You
stop
know
talking.
that, yeah.
Hang on. Just wait a second. Yeah, you are. Of course you are. And listen, and do you know how? Do you know why I'm going to back what you're saying? Because I don't yield on my logic ever. When trophies are true legacy, which is why players that have more trophies than other players that have been more successful have a higher legacy. Clubs that win more trophies have a higher legacy, because that is all that matters. Not your records, not your winning streaks, not your total points. It's all about the trophies that you win. So you are
Terry,
absolutely spot on. You are spot on.
Terry,
You are
can
spot
give
on
me
when
a
you
bit
have
of
two
advice?
brilliant. You are spot on when you have two brilliant teams, and one has 50 trophies and one has 48 trophies. The one with 50 trophies is better, no doubt about it whatsoever.
Who's
You're
better?
right.
Can you just confirm who's better?
Your club is more successful and therefore has
say
been
the name,
better
say
than Man
the
United.
name,
Yeah,
put
Get
some respect
in.
on it. Say the name. Who's better?
I've said Liverpool better, but you're trying to
thank
go
you.
with me. Hang on.
Take that, bro. Okay,
You're trying to go with me like I wouldn't admit that. You're trying to go with me like I wouldn't admit it.
So we just say Liverpool are a better team than United.
I've already said it. You're a more successful team than Man United. We know that. Why would I deny the fact?
There you go.
Because man wants to get some food because man's been, enjoying myself.
I get it, bro. It's a bit like this. I will admit that Liverpool are more successful than Man United, the same as you would admit Terry's a much better looking and more handsome man than me.
Hold on, Terry. Before I go, right, I'll give you some advice, man. Big up Lee Gunner, bruv, because he had to tolerate your weak arguments the other day, bruv. If you're going to try and bring it up a case or say da-da-da, don't let man just shoot it down with bare holes like Swiss cheese, bruv. Come on. You're better than that.
What was my week? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. What was my week? What was my point that was weak?
You know what it was, bro. That's
No,
all I'm going
what
to
was
say.
my
Anyway, bro, I'm off, bro. Relax.
point?
Enjoy. I'm off.
Don't let that door hit
Do you
you.
know why he backtracked? Do you know why he backtracked? Because he just realized, oh my God, I just spoke about how winning lots of trophies is the most important thing. And that's what he was going to go into. He was about to undo his Liverpool argument. That's why he bottled it. There we go. Gal's on the show with us very, very soon. People, Rack's on now, though. Rack's a Liverpool fan as well. What are you saying, mate?
My man,
Come
Rack,
on,
what are you
bro.
saying, Rack?
Sip it real nice, bro. How's that taste?
Adam Chelsea tears.
Tears. Who them tears in that cup, mate?
Listen, first of all, I'm going to be magnanimous in victory. Chelsea played well. They performed well. Lukaku surprisingly did good, and Thomas Tuchel is the best thing about Chelsea right now. So anybody kind of like the whole thing about taking a risk to put Kepa on, that was a bizarre point. I don't understand that. Anyway, listen, today's about us. We won the FA Cup. We were the better team. I think it's pretty clear that we were the better team. Chelsea had their moments, but we dominated the first half. I think we were better than the second half, and perhaps the extra time Chelsea were marginally better. But we deserved it. We played brilliantly. Bit concerned about some of the injuries, but let's see what happens. Zane did make one good point about Jurgen Klopp having now won everything that he could win in England, and I think that's a brilliant achievement. But I don't want to say it in a disrespectful way, but we got bigger fish to fry this season. And,
That's what I was saying.
Roll on the last 2 games of the league season and the Champions League final, because never say never in the league.
Mate, I totally agree with your point there that, bigger fish to fry, as you say. It's a bit like, when you're in a title race and you've just won the League Cup, it's great, but you can't, it's almost, if this was your last game of the season, it would be a different type of party mentality. I get it. I remember when my team was that good. Listen, my guy.
The only thing is, if this was the last game of the season, then Liverpool right now would be having like a parade and all that kind of stuff, but we've got to put that on the back burner. And obviously, depending on what happens in the Champions League, if we lose the Champions League final, we're probably not going to have a parade for the Carabao Cup.
Is it a bad season if we lose the Champions League final?
Look, I've said from the start that we have to win one of the big 2, because that's how highly I rate our team. I think we're one of the top 2, maybe 3 teams in the world. So we need to win either the league or the Champions League. And look, don't get me wrong. There's different levels of failure. If we won nothing, that would be an abject failure. If we could we've got the 2 of the cups secured, I would still be disappointed if we didn't win the league or the Champions League.
Yeah, likewise.
But you kind of gotta. I don't know. You've got to celebrate while it's happening. Live in the moment.
Totally agree, Rack. Top man for coming on and having your say, mate. We'll chat again soon. Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Take care.
David coming on next, people. To answer when he sits up in his chair, though. We've got some super chats first. I don't want to miss these super chats. African Giant here says, saw this result a mile away. Us having the better chances, but our attackers not finishing them. Lowered my expectations, so not too incredibly disappointed. Need to make an attacking purchase this window or it's over, is what's said there. Better chances, would you say, Roy, in the game? Or
I think it was about even, because they did hit the post twice. Like Alonso put a shot just wide, Pulisic was just wide, Diaz was just wide. I think overall it was pretty even, but like on another day it could have been 4-4, it could have been 5-4. But today, like Sam said earlier, the ball was just not wanting to go into the net.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. Comment here says, I love this. The humbling job is coming, is what he says there. Who rates trophies won during the Cold War 30 years?
Just show some humility.
I will say with Chelsea fans, you've generated history in the last 20 years. In 50, 60 years' time, when some of you men are old and people are trying to play down these 2 Champions Leagues, you've won the league titles and everything else, that's when you'll all realize, oh, yeah, we get it. It's when you've got history, you care about it.
Yep.
Where is that Roberto Carlos guy? Big win, Champions League now is what's being said. I don't know who that Roberto Carlos
is. Nathaniel, that Chelsea fan.
I don't know.
I want him on, man.
You want to know his tears?
Okay, I get the point now. I ain't giving too much blame on Tuchel because we have trash players on the pitch and on the bench. Miracle he can give a game to these useless clowns, is what Chelsea fan here says.
I agree with the second part of that, because Tuchel's squeezing every single ounce of performance he can out of this squad.
But they're not his players, though.
Exactly, they're not his players. And the fact that he's getting to every single final, he's picked up a Champions League when, realistically, if you look at the squad on paper, we should not have got as far as Tuchel has taken us.
Do you think that's going to be a red herring, though? Because if he starts getting his own players and the performance drops even more, or you don't...
I think it's impossible.
You don't think you will?
I think if he gets back properly, because I'm not going to lie, I do have slight issues with his talent ID. I think if we get a director in, I think if Bowley gets a director in, and someone who knows what he needs, and he gives that to him, and
we don't know what he wants, because he didn't want Saul Niguez, really.
There's no way he wants.
But did he want Lukaku though?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Lukaku is one of those signings that Roman was a fantastic owner.
Okay,
but Lukaku reminds me of Shevchenko. As an example, it's a player that you didn't need to go for. It reminds me, by the way, Antonio, when Antonio Conte wanted Lukaku, and Chelsea. They let that slip through their hands, and they went for Morata, and he didn't want Morata. That whole summer is what triggered Antonio Conte to falling out. And this is where they need to get better. There's no way, if Jurgen Klopp went in and said, I'm just going to name 2 players here. I said, I want either Rafinha or Jared Bowen. Liverpool wouldn't go, no, you're having neither. What we're going to do is we've heard that Anthony Martial is available. We're going to go give you him. No, I don't want Martial. Your club would never do
No,
that.
but
to a
Terry,
manager.
we did do that. We did
with
do that.
Götze,
He wanted Götze and Brandt, and we got
but
Mane and Salah.
I think again, you're taking that point and you're going very polarized with it. Götze would have been a player that was identified as there would have been profiles that fit the system. The difference is what Chelsea do, and Man United have made this mistake many times in the last 10 years as well, is they pick players that don't fit what that manager needs. So they may have overruled Jurgen Klopp, but all those players would have been on the list. They would not turn around and give someone Klopp who Klopp's like, he doesn't suit what I need. It would have been a system-orientated player, and that's where you guys are phenomenal. So it isn't about Klopp always getting his way. It's because you guys have a club process.
Yeah.
City have a club process, and that's where Chelsea need to adapt what Roman did. Spend like him.
That's why I'm glad.
Have the standards like him, but you now need to have a club philosophy which transcends beyond managers.
That's what I was going to ask.
be.
But with that, this is the thing. Like, and with you buying Lukaku, like obviously you're saying that he didn't want to. He didn't want Lukaku. But then my point is, if he's the manager and he's the person that's going to be bringing people in, wouldn't he have the veto to say, "Look, no, I don't want you to bring this player," because that sets a precedent of them buying players.
I would say this, but we've seen. The point is, Jose, and Antonio Conte both have major fights with the club for doing that exact same thing. So my point is, when it's none of us know the full facts.
Yeah.
But when you look at the history, when you look at the fact that it's happened on multiple occasions. I'm not going to bet against it happening again. Player, and Lukaku's comments in his interview stand out. I was promised we were going to play style A, but we're now playing style B. The irony is when you're playing the same fucking style as they were playing last year. So someone's capping here. I think someone at the club has told Lukaku, we're going to adapt to you. He's turned up and Tuchel's going,
nah, we're not doing that.
And that's why I think it's capped.
You know what? I'll tell you something, Terry, about you saying we've had underwhelming windows. And the timing is actually very telling, because when Mourinho won the league in 14-15 at an absolute canter, we could have built a dynasty then. Like, we were the best team in the country.
That window was amazing.
Yeah, we were the best team in the country. We just got Fabregas. We just got Costa. Shrewd, very, very intelligent signing that took our team up to being the best. And 15-16, we didn't back him. And then we saw what happened. Obviously, we had a few injuries and other issues, but the players fell out with him. He fell out with the players. We down tools. And then Conte comes in. He uses the same core that Mourinho had, and he wins the league. And 17-18, he asked for Van Dijk. He got Rudiger. I'm not saying that's
yes.
I'm not saying that's a disaster, but it's not what he wanted. He wanted Lukaku, who suited his football at Inter, and I think personally at the time would have suited us.
Yeah.
He got Morata.
But just to add to that, I don't think
it's Vidal. He was good at the time. He got Drinkwater. Like, he wasn't given what he wanted.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a club thing, because that's the same with Liverpool. When we won the league, we were saying that we wanted to buy more players to add to what we had, and they didn't do it. I just think
you didn't buy the players. We bought the players.
Not when we won the league. I'm saying when we won the league.
But you're missing the point.
You didn't get players. We got players, but they were the wrong players.
But I think I think that's where you're missing the point. It's sometimes you're better off buying nothing. If you look at Man United as an example, when Jose Mourinho wanted a new midfielder, they said we've got Fred that we can get. He said Fred isn't what I want or need. Well, it's Fred or no one. Not stupidly, but Jose went with Fred. I actually think sometimes you're better off getting nobody coming in.
Yeah.
Because, once you've spent that money, there isn't a bottomless pit. Once the money's spent, and if the player doesn't work out, you lose money. And Chelsea have done it. They've still won trophies, though, because they've done it as badly as what Man United have done and what Arsenal have done in recent years.
Yeah.
But you hemorrhage that money, at some point it impacts you. But viewers, what needs to happen at Chelsea to move forward to bring them back up? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. David on the show next to have his say. Smash the like and share. Up in your chair.
Now there's slacking.
David.
Wait, David, I thought you had a good feeling today. What happened?
I did have a good
What
feeling.
happened?
We actually, no, the thing is, I know we didn't play the best, but neither did you. We both had chances. I felt we had better chances overall.
No,
I mean, they all fell to Pulisic for some reason. He needs to go, but I've said that numerous times.
Wow. Captain America.
And no, he's awful. And when it came to penalties, I knew we were going to lose because we didn't put in Kepa. And I know everyone's going to sit there and be no, because the typical thing is, oh my God, well, you put Kepa in goal the last time and you lost. And it's like, yeah, but what you don't understand is that Mendy is awful at penalties. Like, he is. He should have saved at least another 2 or 3 penalties today. He got a clean hand to 2 of the first 5 penalties. Like, he should have saved more penalties. And Kepa in goal is far better at penalties than Mendy is. I'm sorry, it's a fact. It is a fact. And I knew we were going to lose. I saw Mason Mount step up, and I was like, this guy's going to miss. I knew he was going to miss. I don't know what to say, but
yeah, I did think it was when Mason Mount missed based on your love-hate relationship with him.
The thing is, I was there like it wasn't the time for him to take a penalty. I thought after Ziyech scored his penalty, you need someone like Rudiger who's just a bit mental, just to run up and like put it in the top bins. Because if he does that, the momentum of that penalty shootout switches. Yeah, that it switched when Mendy made the save, but then you need to pile on that pressure, and getting rid of one of your defenders is one way of doing that. And I just felt when I saw Mason step up, he didn't look confident. His penalties aren't great, and it was an awful penalty. So fair play to Alisson. He made the saves when he had to. But yeah, no, it's just a shit feeling losing to Liverpool again. So yeah.
Do you know what I love? Yeah, I love that you're so humble right now. Do you know what? The amount of stupid.
I mean, you're not. I mean, are you winning the quad? Are you winning the quad?
The amount
No.
of stupidness you came out last season and the start of the season.
No.
I'm kind of happy you're a little bit humble right now. I like it.
You're not winning the quad or the treble, so you know this is peak Liverpool.
Oh, really?
This is peak Liverpool. This is nowhere near peak Chelsea, and we're matching each other on like every game we played this year.
You said you want to strip this whole team down.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, bro. That you think this gap is like this? You think the gap is huge, bro? Every game we played this year, we've literally you haven't beaten us in 90 minutes. We haven't beaten each other in 120 minutes. It's literally come down to big spot kicks. It's come down to no, but I'm saying that there is a gap, but it's not as big as you think it is. It really This is Liverpool.
The league table says otherwise, bro.
Cool. This is Liverpool at its peak, and this is Chelsea nowhere near its peak. Okay. And if the fact that we're competing numerous times in numerous finals, I'm happy with the trajectory of the squad. I just hope
is that a fair point from David though? Like Chelsea, they do have a lack of putting the ball in the back of the net. But if you make 2 signings this summer and add that to the attack, and they suddenly start scoring, the reason they're not in the title race is because of the level of games they drew this year because of not scoring. You had their Luis Diaz and their Mo Salah because they buy them. They're there. Like that's why I don't think the gap is that big. But
Terry, you're also to have to take into account Thiago Silva is getting a year older, and their best centre back. He's going to turn 38 years old. Rudiger's already gone. Christensen's going. Aspilicueta's going. Their club captain's been there for 10 years.
You're acting like Christensen and Aspilicueta are massive losses that cannot be replaced.
Who are you going to play instead? Chalobah.
They're going to be Chalobah.
Wait. There's a window coming up.
My whole point is
a lot of players. You need to put in a lot of players to fill in these gaps.
Ram. My whole point is that the players that are leaving are incredibly replaceable. They're all replaceable.
Yeah, but David, the thing is this:
half the players that play today shouldn't even be playing.
Like, that's fair enough, David. But the thing is this, though. David. At the end of the day, like it's all well and good saying that they're not good enough or they need to go, but who's to say that the players that you get in are going to be of a standard whereby you can kick on?
Can we bring in a midfielder who contributes less than Saul? Because I don't think we can.
No, but I'm not talking about Saul. I'm talking about your back line.
You look at our back line, Christensen. How many mistakes has Christensen made this season?
What about Rudiger then?
Numerous mistakes. Rudiger's going to be tough to replace because I think he brings a certain mentality to your defense that you'll need. But I don't think he's impossible to replace.
And don't forget,
Thiago Silva's a year older, but there are centre backs out there that you can get, who you can bring in, and again, providing along with Tuchel's system, and apparently because playing in the 3 backs is really easy, it shouldn't be a massive problem to replace.
Okay, then, David, let me ask you this then, yeah? So you're confident that in the summer window, Tuchel and Chelsea are going to make the right signings to make you push for the league title next season?
Not for the league title, no, because I think we have because there are too many things in the squad that I would change to do over one window for it to
how long will it take
to go? I think it will take. I think not next season, but the season after for winning the league.
So was that be his 4th season? Will that be his 4th season?
That would be his 4th season, yeah.
Yeah,
but
okay,
again, considering it's his second season. Like considering it's his second season, he's done really well, and I don't think anyone can dispute.
And we're
that.
not saying he hasn't. We're not saying.
I'm not saying he. I'm not fighting you. I'm just saying, like, I think Tuchel's done, even though we have lost, and it is very annoying. I think we've done quite well over the past 2 seasons.
It's one of them interesting. It's one of those interesting ones, really. Like I don't think Chelsea are as far behind as some people are making out. But if they don't buy right, then that's my point. That's what it's going to come down to. So I think it works both ways. If they buy right, they close the gap a lot quicker. If they buy poorly, then they don't.
Terry, Terry, you're taking into account Liverpool and City not strengthening their team. If we get someone like a
Yeah, but
Shua
you can't-
Many,
but you
But you
can't-
could only
How much
My
better
point
can
is,
you get in the league?
exactly. No, I was gonna say you guys. It's like in order for you to improve dramatically, you're like at the top of that bell curve, bro. If you know what a bell curve is, you're at the very top. You can't. There's not much more you can improve.
Not much room. It's just little
Chelsea
pieces.
halfway up half that bell curve, bro. Half our defense are old and can't run. And so they can't do the whole fullback thing. Our midfielders are, bro. Ross Barkley came on today. That says it all. And then our forwards. How many? Like, if you switch the chances we had today, how many goals do you think you would have scored? Because I'm still convinced, even with your chances, we score 0. I think you would have scored at least.
Oh,
2 of ours.
really?
I think you would have scored at least 2 of ours. Minimum.
No, but your chances that you created were like
No, in the Carabao Cup, I think that's true. If you give Liverpool's forward the chances we had in the Carabao Cup final, we would have.
David, I think you're being very disingenuous today.
This game,
You genuinely don't think that if Pulisic plays a better ball to Marcus Alonso and Marcus Alonso chips the ball over Alex,
Luis Diaz had a 1-on-1.
No, so
that's not difficult.
Yeah, Luis Diaz 1-on-1. I agree with David. I do think they had the better chance in the sense if they were cutbacks where you hit the target, they go in.
Okay.
And where both your opportunities at the post, Robertson's was really hard. The ball was coming in quick.
Yeah.
It was actually quite difficult to score what he did.
Yeah.
And also he's a fullback, not an attacker.
Yeah,
right? When Diaz hit the post, it was a great shot, but it was one of those it's a half chance.
Yeah.
And he hit the post.
He didn't really believe he was going to score it. Yeah.
Like if Alonso's touch was, but I thought it was more Alonso's touch than the pass. If I'm being honest, if his touch is better, he should be like. For me, Mane or Salah scores that opportunity.
Yeah.
As an example,
Dink it over.
Pulisic had 2 or 3 where the ball's cut back. Hit the target or put it in a decent area in either corner and you score. And that's not a dig at Liverpool.
Yeah, it's just fair. It's facts.
It's actually praise.
Yeah.
Almost, I get that. But David, listen, mate, I appreciate you coming on, having your say. Top man, and we'll chat to you again soon. Commiserations on the
Lucky.
Lucky. Got some more super chat here before we go to some more calls. I want to get through these because you guys have donated to the terrace. It says Trent bodies James every single metric, defending and attacking.
Today he did.
I don't know what BITW stands for.
By the way.
Oh, by the way. Okay, cool. Daniel is finished. By the way, Liverpool nearly 20 points ahead of Chelsea. Terry Shush. They are. And there is a gap. And literally, I don't know if you listened to what I said, my guy. I appreciate the donation. I said head to head when they play, there's not much difference. But what Chelsea needs to do is improve the squad so they can increase their consistency across the ultimate barometer, which is the 38 games. The difference is when you look at them, that 20-point gap, so many times, it's not because they've been outplayed by lots and lots of teams. It was finishing their dinner and putting teams to bed. I don't think that's the hardest thing to fix because that's around the right personnel and that could happen. Trent, man of the match performance and second trophy on James's head is what Silver Spring is going to say there. But it is 2 over it. But listen, and trophies are the ultimate legacy.
Yeah.
When Trent and Reece James finish their careers,
medals.
You guys can talk tech and defend. It will be medals. This is what honestly, I'm going to be an old man, right? In like 20 years' time, I'm going to be an old man sitting there with my pipe and slippers, and I'm going to see Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans use the same logic that they hate us doing about gigs and skulls, where they put the trophies on the table, and it'll be, hang on a minute, you were trying to cook me for years on. So it will come, no doubt about it. Pulisic is a criminal for missing those chances. I wouldn't say he's a criminal. I think he showed his levels again. The American is not good enough.
I think indecisiveness is the big thing. You just cannot make a decision to save his life, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Aspilicueta is Chelsea's Maguire.
Come on.
Guy is old and bored.
Come on, man.
I can't co-sign that.
At all.
Aspie's one of the most underrated defenders in Premier League history.
And he's won it all as well. Let's not
Did someone say Trent can't defend? Daniel said that. Daniel is not here to answer his crimes. I'm impressed with Diaz again today. This guy never fails to amaze me since he came in. It's a shame he didn't score. Could have won it single-handedly for Liverpool. Yeah, we all said
he was quality today.
Sensational today.
Didn't he get man of the match?
He did. He was officially awarded it.
Yeah.
Almost 150 million strike force that can do jack shit. Sit down, Lukaku. Go visit the Farmers League. Respect to Liverpool and how they build their success the right way. Congrats from a Man United fan.
Can I just ask a question on that, on Roy, in terms of how you thought Lukaku played today? Like, out of 10, what would you have given him?
I'll give it a 6.
Very underwhelming.
It wasn't a bad performance because, like, we've seen games where he literally had 7 touches of the balls.
Yeah,
I can't call it a bad performance, but
Just great
I knew
defending.
that Matip's going Konate and Van Dijk, he wasn't going to be able to get much.
Do you remember what I said to you? Like, I was happy Lukaku started just because, and this is no dig at him, but he doesn't. Havertz, he moves more, which causes our defense more problems. With Lukaku, he's very stable. Like, okay, play the ball up to me, and Konate and Van Dijk will eat that up all day.
Bruv, there was a few times in the game where he got himself into. There was twice he did this, and I just died with laughter. Where he kind of back into Van Dijk. The first time he did it, it bounced. It's almost
his
like
arm.
His hand-eye ball coordination is so poor. It bounced up and hit his arm. The second time, it bounces and smacks him in the face and ricochets off like a ping ball. That's the problem with Lukaku. I remember reading this stat about him at Man United. I'm not sure if it's the same now. He loses possession with his first touch. Actually, half the amount of time at that stage than Aguero, Harry Kane, and Mo Salah. They were the 3 names. Like half the amount.
Okay,
Those
the
guys with
elites.
their first touch lose the ball more than him. The problem that Lukaku has, he's so funny and comical. There was once at Man United, he went to control the ball, it hit his foot, and it bounced up over his head. Another time, he nearly broke his knee trying to control the ball. I thought it was awful today. Jesus Christ here says, Terry, ask Daniel to repeat this again, please. Liverpool still haven't beat us in 90 minutes. Therefore, they are not better than us. What a joke of a fan. David waffling again is what he says here. Says the gap is small but needs 2 seasons to compete is what Artful Dodger says.
Leave him to it, man. Leave him to it.
Dexter here says 3rd time seeing Diaz live. Levy messed up. Van Dijk and Lukaku duels were incredible. Shame Lukaku and Matip didn't cross over. Lukaku would have bodied him. Timo injured. But still confused by our subs. I said, turns out, I think a few people have tweeted me as well with DM saying he was injured. But they were people.
So why was he on there?
What they're saying is, I think he got injured in the warm-up. People said that he was on the bench.
Oh,
and they said
like
they didn't have
Thiago.
any, hamstring massage. So it looks like he's picked up the injury. And that makes the substitutions make a little bit more sense.
But Chelsea fans, where's the humility, man? You don't need to throw shade on Matip's name. Matip was good when he came on.
He was quality.
Excellent.
He has nothing to deal with, though, because
but he
wasn't on, Werner wasn't on. He was facing Barkley up front, like.
But a couple
he
of
still
times
got to
when
do his
Mason Mount
job. Do you
came through
remember?
the goal.
Because, like we were saying before, when Van Dijk come off, that air of invincibility kind of diminishes a little bit because Matip, even though he's a good defender, doesn't have the same kind of air of like, okay, nah, you know what? I don't want to go up against him. But he came on and did his job.
He absolutely did. We're going to take another call now. Winter Surface here, another Chelsea fan. What are you saying, mate?
More tears.
No, man. Congrats. You won the cup. That's all
Cheers.
good. I'm just sick of this squad, man. I'm just sick of this. I've never despised the collection of players at Chelsea like this before. No guts, no glory, no mentality. I told you they'd show up, Terry. This team loves being the underdog. Loves being the underdog. They don't like taking ownership whatsoever. And it's the same story for the past 5 years. It's the finishing. It's always the finishing. People are going on about the buying defenders and midfielders and wing backs, and we do need that. But I just want someone who just, I know Mount's done it, like to hit 11 goals, but someone who gets close to 20 goals would be nice. Do you know what I mean? And
we need Costa back.
Someone, you know.
He's flabbergasted. You don't know what to say.
I can't take another season like this because it's just one of those things. It's just, you know, we were in another top 4 race again. That's Arsenal standard. I don't want to be Arsenal standard. You know what I mean? We're bigger and better than that, so I don't want that. And you know, I will. People coming after Tuchel, you know, just up yours. Do you know what I mean? And you know, it's just like, and even if Werner was fit, bringing him to do what? Run around? Because what's he going to do? You're not going to trust him in front of goal because he can't finish. He had those 3 good games in a row, and everyone was going, "Oh, let's give him another season," and he's done rubbish since then. So
attackers, they're not.
I will. The one thing I don't know if Roy agrees to this. I thought we struggled to adapt when Kante came on in the midfield. It took a while.
What do you mean by adapt?
Well, what I mean is that I don't think it took him a while to settle into the game, and that's when
No, but he came on. For me, he came on and done a good job. There was a number of occasions where we were going to attack.
Let me finish.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
He did get into the game, but that's when you guys then sort of dominate that later stage of the second half, and you hit the post twice, and you had those shots.
Okay,
but apart from that, I mean, Barkley's not played since January. What is this?
Do you know what the
seeing Ross Barkley come on this pitch? Ross Barkley is a fraud. He's a
Evertonian,
fraud.
Evertonian.
Do you know what with the Surfer? Do you know that reminded me of? There was a game under LVG. We needed to win in the Champions League, and we had no other. We brought Nick Powell on that hadn't played for us for like 2 years. That I had those sort of vibes from that. But the kind of player Chelsea needed today to bring on was a Christian Eriksen type, a peak one, someone that can come on. Like Thiago does it from a slightly deeper position, but passes that break the line. You know, Kovacic was doing an okay job, but obviously with that ankle injury, had to come off. It was just that element of, and that's what the thing about Loftus-Cheek that winds me up. As a football fan, he for me is why I don't like the eye test. He passes the eye test, but he doesn't pass the ball. It's weird. It's like he looks really good being shit.
He's our Lingard. He's our Lingard.
I want to ask you a question.
He's a young 30-year-old.
I want to ask you a question because what do you think is more of an issue in terms of our front line? Would you say it's creativity or finishing?
Oh, it's finishing. We create the chances again, like the Carabao Cup. We create chances like last year. Even under Frank, we created the chances and couldn't finish. It's been like this since Costa's left. And Eden Hazard, I will never hear any slang against Eden Hazard. He hid those faults so well until he left. Until he left, he took us the whole shadow. I'm not talking about the size he is now, but just the whole shadow. But seriously, the finishing, we saw it. Alonso, oh my God, he got outpaced by Jordan Henderson, and they both played the same amount of minutes.
Put some respect on the guy's name, man.
Not when it comes to running.
Listen, do you remember Ferguson said something about Henderson?
He did. He got that one wrong. Listen, Winter Surfer, I appreciate you coming on, waiting patiently, mate. Commiserations on the defeat, and we'll chat again soon, bro. Thank you very much indeed. We've got another super chat here that says, my question is now, how is the Premier League going to work out if the World Cup is in December? I'm confused. Essentially, it stops for a month. Yeah. Then there'll be like a 2-week break after the World Cup, and then it will start again. That's literally all they're going to do. So it will start same time, and it's going to end up finishing a little bit later. But again, I don't think the same international breaks are going to occur. So it's really, I think it still ends towards the end of May, because I think the March international window I've read somewhere is going to be gone. So they'll recoup it in places. But it's going to be quite good, actually, I think, doing it that way around. But there we go. Cedric here. Sorry, there's another part of that as well. Sorry. That says, David, we were poor today. No excuses. We need to clear out our top, and new defense next season will be a struggle for us, to be honest, is what Nav believes. Cedric here says the transfer window is going to be savage. Top 6 teams are all fishing in the same pond. True. It is. It's going to be I can't wait, mate. Silly season is here. Let's be honest. We never press Liverpool at all, really. Slow sideways, backward, not good enough. Man, terrible FA Cup final for us.
He did it in spells, but not.
I don't think that's a fair comment, if I'm honest, because at the end of the day, like Liverpool came out with like a house on fire. After you got over that 20 minutes, it was you that was creating the chances for Pulisic. And
I feel like if you come out and press Liverpool on Wembley's pitch when it's 20 degrees in the sunlight, you're dead at 50, 60 minutes and you'll fall away. It's one of the reasons why Liverpool could barely run in extra time, because you worked a lot harder. You worked harder with your press. It's just that Chelsea couldn't capitalize on it, you know, and few extra players of strength and depth in that Chelsea team, and who they might have been able to. I think that's a little bit of an unfair point. Ben's coming on now. Ben's a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, lad. I'm not on my setup at the minute because we ran out of drinks. So I had to go to the shop, so that's why.
Get in the bin, mate. Get in the bin.
Yes, lad. Oi, Shigs, big up, you know. Shigs on the terrace, my guy.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, smashing it, my brother. Listen, this club, man, it's gonna give. I'm with my brother right now. It's gonna give us both heart attacks by the time we're 40. I swear. Like, never doing it the easy way. Like, yeah, Nathan just said big up Shigs from Wembley that day, man. Jeez,
Oh,
special.
yeah,
We'll never
oh,
forget
yeah,
that.
the
Shigs. We'll
semi-final.
never forget that. Yes, lad. But nah, this team is special, and you know, I said to my brother at the end of that game, whole extra time, sorry, we were gassed. Like, we were playing football at walking pace. So I feel like the penalty shootout was always going to be the best chance for either side to win, because that last half an hour was just painful to watch. Like, nothing happened. But look, when Mane misses his pen, thinking, oh, flip's sake, like, not you, Sadio, not the one that all the rival fans love to praise. They're all going to be slandering him now. But listen, Kostas Tsimikas, the Greek scouser,
Greek scouser,
gets the job done, wins his second trophy for Liverpool. Thiago, Ibu, they've all won trophies now. Jota, they know what this feels like, going into the Champions League final with so much confidence, because let's be real, we've not played that well recently. In the last month or so, we've not been great. So we needed to win this trophy today, because if we lost this, like, I don't know, man.
You put it down on everybody in the squad.
Yeah, exactly, Shigs, yeah. But one thing I will say before I go, I need to say it. Trent Alexander the Great.
Talk your talk, bro.
Say it.
Talk your talk.
He's completed the set at 23. Who else has done that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Who else? He's put it on his Instagram story now. Completed the set. Like,
I think he did. I think David Beckham and his age group, I think he was 24 in 99, so he's only a year younger than Beckham and those guys, which is phenomenal.
But
There's probably some Europe. Messi probably did it. And I think
I'm on about
Kingsley Coman did it, and Ronaldo. But look at the company he's keeping. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, like, I'm just so proud of him today, because we've been on here so many times hearing stuff about how goals have been his fault and how he's not tracked his man. And that last-ditch tackle, me and my bro celebrated it like a goal. Like,
he made a couple of those, Ben.
Yeah, man.
Bro, he was killing it, man. And like I said before, right, these new players that have come in, that are being integrated to this team, they know what it is now to win trophies. Like, the Carabao Cup, okay, it's the biggest one to win, but the FA Cup is huge. And we've just beaten Chelsea at Wembley, a very good setup Chelsea. Like, they always turn up against us. I don't know what it is, but they've got a vendetta against us. No matter how crap they are in the league, they always turn up against us. So I knew it was going to be tough today. But
Sliding, I like it.
We got the job done. And Shigs, you free tomorrow, bro, for a stream, yeah?
I'm free, bro. I will
my
see you
guy,
there.
I'll see you tomorrow. Big up Roy as well, man. Big up Roy, my guy as well.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Listen, I echo what you said about Trent in the sense of all the times that those runners have got past him and done whatever else. Yeah. I'm glad to see Liverpool fans not admit, we know he doesn't normally do that, and today he did. And the difference is when your fullback puts in a defensive performance like that,
it means even more.
It means the crossing and the creativity is like sublime for a player in his position.
Yeah.
But when it comes to those moments, like if he had one of these poor performances defensively today, you might have lost.
Yeah, definitely.
And winning the trophies and the defensive performance from him today. Won you help win you the game.
But there's been a couple of games over the last month where he's put in defensive performances where he's stood up and be countered.
Getting older as well. The thing is, defensively, how many fullbacks or centre backs are actually top class at 20, 21?
That's the thing.
They're not. They're not.
The only player I could probably say is probably Philip Lahm. That's it. I can't think of any other.
And even then, I don't know about you, but none of us were watching him week in, week out.
Exactly.
And he was also playing for the Monopoly team in Germany.
That's true. That is true.
It's not hard.
You could base it off of Germany, but you can't think. Even people like Dani Alves and Cafu, people criticize their defending. They said they weren't good. People said Cafu was not a good defender until he reached age 30. That's how mad it is.
The real test is against Vinicius, so
that's true. That is true.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in that one there. Next on the show, so many people. We're not. Mohammed's here. What are you saying, Mo?
Oh, hello.
Champion. Come on, let's go. The quad is still on.
Yeah,
man. Two down, 2 to go.
Oh my god, I lost my voice screaming at the TV when Tsimikas scored that goal, man.
Hey, listen, Terry will tell you my reaction when Tsimikas scored that goal.
I know. I thought he was going to jump out.
I literally I woke up everyone in my house. It was quite, then Yeah, it's just really good. What we've achieved from where we were in the summer. Like people were saying we weren't gonna like even challenge for the title or like win any trophies or potentially even finish out the top 4 this season. Like it just goes to show that Liverpool, you can write them off every single time, but they're just gonna come back and prove everyone wrong, like we've been doing for the last for the last 5 years since Klopp has come in, and we just need to keep going on this good path. Like hopefully West Ham get a result, but very unlikely. But I'm still believing.
Can you imagine the feeling you're all going to have tomorrow evening if West Ham beat City tomorrow?
Oh my God!
Yeah. Can you imagine how it'd be?
Oh my God!
Part of me wants to just see it for the reaction and the gas, and then obviously.
Oh my
God! People shit themselves if that happens. Southampton.
Yeah.
1% chance, 99 faith. 1% chance, 99 faith, as Vinicius Jr. said.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Listen, Mo, top man for coming on,
mate. Take care, everyone.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you.
Terry, if that happens, oh my God.
It will be epic.
It will be the perfect weekend.
Yeah.
Perfect weekend.
What will make it even more perfect if you cut your hair and take that Alice band off?
I'm not cutting my hair. Okay,
wait. If Liverpool do the quad,
I'll dye my hair red.
All right, cool. You got it on camera. You got it on camera.
Yeah. I say, if we win the quad, I'll dye my hair red.
Your hair, you remind me of my auntie, bro. You know what I mean? You remind me of my auntie. Listen, Chesney's coming on now. Big Chelsea fan. What you saying, Ches?
I'm very disappointed, Terry, man. I can't lie, like. You know what it is, yeah? You know what's disappointing about it, yeah? You know what's disappointing the most about it? It's just like what David was saying, isn't it? Like, these men talk a lot of like, they're a good team, innit? But then when they're toe-to-toe with us 4 games in the season, and then we lose by 2 penalty shootouts, it just tells you the levels of Chelsea and Liverpool, innit? Like, they're that great, and we're still managing to compete with average players. Like, why is Barkley coming on the pitch? What is our attack doing? Pulisic had like 2 sitters. It doesn't hit the target, so it's like that's the team, huh?
They weren't sitters, man.
Bro, that chance when he came across his body and didn't hit the target, like that's a target. Hit the target. That's standard football. Like hit the target. But anyway, regardless of that, like everyone said, I'm just echoing what everyone says. Terry, you agree as well. Abramovich wasn't perfect. The last 5 years has been very poor. Tuchel's been world class in terms of squeezed every ounce in his team. Managed to win the Champions League. Managed to get to like 6 finals, wherever it was. We haven't won a lot of them, which is disappointing, and he's to blame for some of it. But it's good, steady feet for moving forward. So as long as we get the right, like I wouldn't say go all out on attackers or defenders. I'll say get a decent amount of players in each position. We promised the big sum as it is because of Bowley and that. But as long as we're consistent with it next season, we could definitely close the gap. Because maths, you look at the maths, you go, 20 points, that's massive. When you look up what we're challenging for, how we're losing these games, contextually is not as far as everyone thinks it is.
I agree. I agree, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because obviously me and Lee had a big debate last Tuesday. We'll have another one where I spoke on behalf of Chelsea fans, even though I'm not one, where I said that not challenging for a league in 5 years, irrespective of winning the Champions League and getting to all these finals, I don't know a Chelsea fan who's accepting of that. Now, some Chelsea fans will take exception to that and be like, oh, don't chat about my club. I love Roman. I love things that are being great. I'm just sort of talking about twerking things. Not twerking, tweaking. Last night. But it's like if you tweak things and you make subtle improvements, like some of the way Bayern, it's that club approach, meaning even if Tuchel was Steve, you don't need a big overhaul. It's not needing an overhaul every time you swap managers. That for me is the key component.
And the thing is, people will say to us, oh, Ches, when was the last time you guys kept a manager for longer than we're trying it now? And Klopp and Liverpool, great team ever, all this bullshit. You know, if you don't win the final,
don't be so easy,
bro.
Listen, that's the way the cookie crumbles, bro. You win some, you lose some. That's what happens, bro. Tuchel's lost 2 in a row now. That's what it is, bro.
Ask a question. 2 questions. How long's Klopp been there? We already know the answer to that. Second question is, if you don't win the Champions League final, Has this been a great season for a world-class team? Yes or no?
No, but it's not. But that's
No,
not the
no,
point.
like,
At the
that's
end
what I'm saying, like,
of the
the
day,
team's that much
we're
greater
not
than us.
talking about the Champions League.
Listen,
Right
that's
now,
what I'm saying,
we're
listen.
talking about the FA Cup, and Klopp has done his job in winning the trophy.
my point
Champions
is,
League will
though,
sort itself out. That's a conversation for
do you know
another day.
do you know where I rebuttal your
No, I
statement?
hear that. Like,
The only team in the Premier League history to win the full set Premier League, Champions League, League Cup, and FA Cup in their entire sort of tenure was Sir Alex Ferguson, and now it's Jurgen Klopp. So you can't really say
no,
that it's
but what
like
I'm
a
saying
big
is,
team and all that stuff,
I'm
man.
basically, Ram, you guys are getting it twisted. I'm not being salty about losing. We lost. We had chances.
Okay.
We had chances. It is what it is. 2 finals in a row. No excuses. 3 FA Cups in a row. That's fair. I'm saying the chat you man give your team and the push down people give our team is insurmountable, in my opinion. It's not like, how could we be that shit that we're getting to finals and competing with you, make it to penalty shootouts? It doesn't add up.
I would say this: if you look at Liverpool, the season where you lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League final, I swear you finished 20-30 points behind.
That's where
City.
we are now. We need our
and the following year,
we
you almost won. And that's because it's when you look at these things. Chelsea haven't got the issues that Man United have got.
Yeah.
As an example, where we look bad front to back, the whole team needs changing. Generally speaking, with Chelsea, it's not putting the ball into the back of the net. Now, Ram makes a good point that if you buy 3 new defenders this summer and they all are shocking, they're all SARS. Do you know what I mean? They're all SARS. then the rebuild or the overhaul takes a little bit longer because you've got to rebuy again. But if the signings are right, and this is what we don't know, and this is a neutral comment. We don't know how good the things are going to be recruitment-wise under these new owners. But if they get it right, I don't think the gap is that far.
We can only go off track record, and track record. A lot of the Chelsea signings are
there is no track record. It's
That's the thing. There's nothing. It's a clean slate.
But
We
Terry,
don't know
why does Liverpool get time and Chelsea don't?
No, but that's your own man. That's your own the way you set up. Like how many? I mean, look at, let me give you a prime example. Ancelotti won you the double. Is that not a guy that you would say, you know what? Let's get behind him and build it with this guy? You dashed him away after one season.
That's why. If you ask Chelsea fan there as well, it's bittersweet that Abramovich is leaving. We're happy that he's given us success, but at the same time, we're like, it hasn't been great in recent times. So that's what Terry's saying. Like, if they get the right things forward, it's not that hard. We're in a good mode.
Okay, let me ask you this: how confident are you that they will get it right?
The thing is, that's a hypothetical, so like it's really hard to say. I would say
just on the outside of looking in, how
that's out. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, yeah, cool. I would say I'm more confident of someone else coming in new than what I already know has already been. Okay, I'd rather risk it and see something different than Abramovich has been here for 5. What have we done the last 5 years?
I think the point is this. I think the debate's gone on to something else. The gap isn't that big. What you're more saying isn't about the gap. What you're saying is, but they might not get it. They might not get the recruitment right to bridge the gap.
Yeah,
and that's a different debate and conversation. If they sign 2 new defenders that are brilliant, 2 or 3 like attack-minded players that create and score a lot more goals than they score now, they'll just forget what you guys have done. They'll just win a lot more of those draws next year, giving them easily 12, 15 more points. Then it's only a handful of wins.
But the thing is though, Terry, and I've got to give Klopp and Liverpool credit for this because they make buying players look easy. They make it look like, okay, we can just buy anybody, put them in the team and they'll do the job. And it's not as simple as that.
It is.
I don't think it
I think with the right people it is. With the right people
it is that simple. If you buy, and what I mean by that, it's not a dig. It's not a dig.
Yeah, no.
What they do is brilliant, but the reason it's brilliant is because they do the right thing.
Yeah, but but the thing is, I'll ask Chelsea, and you can answer this. What's Chelsea's style of play? But
again, you're asking questions.
No. But the reason why I'm asking that
doesn't matter.
No. But the reason why I'm asking that is because if you're going to go out to the market and buy a player, you have to identify. Okay, first of all,
exactly.
This is how we're going. This is how we're going to play. This is the kind of player that will fit our system in terms of how we play.
Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question though?
Go on, Ches.
Your points. I hear what you're trying to say, but it's kind of relevant because it's not my job as a fan to go out and decide what players are right for my team. What we're trying to say is, it's not that hard if you have things in place.
Okay.
People, in life in general, people who are the best or the smartest in school don't always get the best grades. It's the people that have things in place that are consistent with it like in the league with Chelsea are not doing right now, that can perform to a higher level. So we haven't got the right structure right now. Whether it's Abramovich being too trigger happy,
I hear you on that. Listen, Chez, appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. The thing is, what you're saying though about the style of play, I get where you're coming from, but I feel like you're missing the point in the sense of that internally they know how Tuchel plays football.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
That's my.
What normally happens with this style of play thing is like I was saying to you guys, Liverpool play a lot of long ball.
Yeah.
Or accurate diagonal passes. Accurate
over
long
the top
through
kind
balls,
of thing.
whatever it is, looping through balls. Like, whatever you want to call it. I'm not even trying to be salty. But your club knows how Jurgen Klopp plays.
Yeah.
And they buy players to suit it. Internally, Chelsea are going to know how they play and how they want to play, and therefore identify. All you need to do is go, right, we want to play we want to play possession-based football, and play out from the back. We want to primarily attack through the flanks. Let's just keep it very basic. Then you need players that can help you do that. Where it's easy is if you have a good scouting team, good data analysts, and you follow the plan. And the point is, say you need a right side of the attacker, but the three players are perfect, are not attainable in the summer. You do what Liverpool and what Man City have done. You hold back. City wanted Harry Kane or Erling Haaland. They couldn't get Harry Kane. And they waited. They didn't go, oh, shit. Look, let's get Lukaku instead. He wouldn't fit their style of play because he can't play football. That's what I mean. So when I say it's not hard, the hard bit is recruiting the right scouts and the right team and getting that in place. As soon as that's there, it's not the
Sky's the limit.
That's my question.
That's what I think Bowley's going to bring, because if you look at how he runs his other franchises, it's a lot of data analysis, and it's a lot of spending shrewdly rather than spending a lot and just throwing shit at the wall to see what's
kind of like how Liverpool are now.
Exactly, it'll be similar to
Moneyball, basically.
Like it's very much driven by statistics and data analysis, and finding the best player, not just
and you still they still spend money. 57 million, I think, Luis Diaz is total cost will be
60 around.
So like you'd still spend big money, but it's around the right profile of individual.
Profile is so important.
And again, I don't think that takes 3 years to set that system up internally. Like it really doesn't. You have to give a manager what they want and need. My club is a prime example. Every manager that's left when they're allowed their embargo talks and they go away, all the stories come out of, I didn't want these guys, I wanted them. Fans have also got to calm down. Jose Mourinho wanted to get rid of Martial and bring in Perisic. If you actually look what Perisic has done from 2015 until now,
he's been
quality. It eclipses any Man United player has done in the Man United kit.
You can go further back.
His overall quality. But no, he ain't what I want. It's not about what you, the fans, want. It's about what the world-class managers, scouts, and everybody else behind the scenes want. Because they actually know what they're doing. By the way, all of us are, great that we make this content. But if one of, these, we sit on YouTube, people sit in spaces. If you actually knew as much as these lead scouts and data, you'd be doing that as a job.
You do what they're doing.
You would be lifting that trophy right now.
Very much so.
There's a super chat here that I want to go to. I've just lost it. Here it is. It says the Reds are still adding Carvalho and Tchouaméni this summer. The gap will be bigger between us and those frauds. Diaz will also be better. Do you know what I would say, Jose? You're right in the sense of I think you maintain. I don't think Liverpool and City can become that much better. You're talking a handful.
I think we've come to our evolutional cycle. Like it's.
I think you're there, but what you're doing is maintaining it, maintaining it, and keeping yourselves there. And if you bring it, we know that Carvalho is going in. If you bring in Tchouaméni and maybe one other player,
a backup right back.
No, I don't think we need a backup right back. I'm happy for Gomez to play that position.
But either way, whatever. Like it literally, Liverpool will stay out there, not going to fall away. I know there's a lot more people waiting backstage, but we are at the end of the show now, people. I'm sorry that we can't take any more callers tonight. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that has placed a super chat on the show today. It really means a great deal to us that you've done that. Everybody that's hit the like button so far, thank you. I want to say, Roy, commiserations for losing, but thanks for being in the studio.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
Literally, Javerne's sniffing over there. I thought man was crying. I literally thought he was crying. Liverpool boy, I want to say congratulations. Cheers, and Ram, thank you both very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.